am running late today, but that is completely fine. Sometimes you just run late. So, and then I also, I couldn't find my ruler. So I took like a good 5-10 minutes just to find my ruler, which, nothing new there. But other than that, I'm trying very hard to like be on track for the day, but I am all over the place. I have a bunch of new parts of the dungeons finished for the D&D campaign coming up, and I took a nap earlier, so naps are good. We're good with naps, but I'm tired as that. Gotta stay hydrated. And then also, my barn chores aren't done for the night because I was napping during my normal barn chore time. So after I'm done with this live, I have to go feed the rabbits, gotta go feed the horse. But I did get the quail fed because in order to get the chickens into bed, I grab quail food and then I throw a little bit for the chickens because they free range for the most part. So I'll always grab like a full scoop of that and throw a little bit to the chickens, and then I feed the quail. So at least part of my barn chores are done for the night, because otherwise I'd be really far behind. But quail are doing great. They're little jerks, but nothing new there. I just really need to go grab scissors. So that's Opal. She is a trash cat. For those of you who don't know the origin story of the white cat that's sitting on the table, I almost ran her over while I was driving to work one day in Louisiana, and she has been with us ever since. It was her sister, and her mom. She lives with us, her sister lives with my best friend, and then her mom lives with my sister. So, all of the cats have wonderful homes, but that does not negate from the fact that this little cat right here, Opal, is a trash cat. She is a menace to society. She, on a daily basis, tries to run away, and it is the most annoying thing, because it's like, my dude, you have the best home you could ever ask for. You are free fed, you have toys at the wazoo, you have a cat bed, all the things you could want as a cat. And you want to go get eaten by the mountain lions, because what other reasons would you have for running away for no reason? So, love that cat dearly, but she is a menace. Let's see here, make sure that everything's even. I have a really bad habit of lopsiding my maps. So this, to draw my maps with, right? This is just a chalk pen that I use in quilting, and it's only like $2 or $3, but it is like amazing to use with maps when you're drawing out your sketch lines. So when you're drawing your maps, see those lightly drawn lines? Perfect. And then you just draw over them with your straight lines with permanent marker when you're doing maps, and it is just absolutely brilliant. I'll show y'all how far I've gotten once I have the line maps made up, because we are going to definitely do that. And then also, for my people who are normally here for my bunny content, hello, hi. No new bunnies for the week, because I know we're in our heavy breeding season where we normally have a lot of baby bunnies. Our most recent litter is still Emma. Sadie is on day 32, which is normally the day she has her babies, which no big deal. We'll see if she has them within the next 24 hours. I put down Vanessa and unfortunately Hawk as a miss. So I'll rebreed Vanessa. We'll be butchering out Hawk next week along with our, okay, who knocked over the baby gate? Rude guys. We'll be butchering out Hawk. And then Vanessa on Monday, we're gonna rebreed her. I'm trying to decide if we want to rebreed her to Eduardo or if I just want to rebreed her to Wiley, because at this point I am just fed up with Eduardo and his lack of breeding. But he still has that one chance with Nina. So hopefully, and he breeds with her, we have silver fox babies. But if not, we still have Wiley. We still have my blue silver fox Zeus. Hoping for more silver fox kits soon within the next month or so, because darn it, I need babies for convention next year. and I want to have a nice head start on my juniors and intermediates, because that is what's going to do well for me when it comes to our reading plan. I don't want juniors at convention. That would just be a bad, not necessarily a bad thing, it's just they wouldn't be set up properly management-wise for convention. Alright, let me get this set up and I will show y'all what I'm working with. And then I grab my scissors so I have an extra 1/2 inch in all the maps. And instead of just drawing weird things, I'm cutting off the extra 1/2 inch so everything's even. Because I am just lazy. And don't want to deal with maps that have an extra 1/2 inch. Because papers, right, when you set them up, they're not a full inch. They're an extra, like, because they're 11.5 instead of just 11. So they have that extra 1/2 inch. Not great for building maps, but it's okay because I'm just going to destroy that extra 1/2 inch. Do you go here? No. What are you? I need to look at the map to see where that goes. But I'm hoping. So for those of you who weren't here last week, I'll show you the map I'm building. So this isn't the campaign. So this is the map out of Water's Edge, or Water's Deep rather. I've been through this entire campaign once. Normally I don't build the maps to this extreme, but I'm doing a homebrew and I'm stealing a map from it because, well, I'm not creating a map on my own. I'm extremely lazy, and if I have a map handy, I'm just gonna poach it. So here's the map I'm building. But it's okay because it's a homebrew and I'm not getting paid off of it. So that's the map I'm building. I'm working on the top left corner. And this campaign is happening on Thanksgiving. So when it comes to the map, I've built the top left-hand corner, and then when mapping it out with the homebrew, I've filled up all of the campaign notes, because I'm the dungeon master, up till 7A. And this map goes up to 26 Echo. So that's how far we've gotten. It's not very far, but when it comes to D&D campaigns, as long as I say this in the most loving way, as long as my party isn't a bunch of murder hobos, that is about 10 hours worth of gameplay from where I've built from Chamber 1 up to 7 Alpha. If we go all the way to 26 Echo, that's a shit ton of gameplay. So as long as they're not being a murder hobo and they're actually playing the game and not just killing everything in sight, we should have some time, and I shouldn't have issues. But last time these guys were murder hobos, so I've added some things into the campaign that should slow them down this time. Blessed with Pets, I think I missed your first question. Let me just pull up the live chat and see. La-di-da-di-da. Hello, Grateful Rabbitry. How are you doing? Do you know if the Canton event sells rabbits? No clue, but most places where you are going, whether it be for, let's say it's a convention or a show, they will have on the website whether or not you can like sell things there. But I will say most shows, since we've kind of moved on past the RHBD2 scares, they will let you bring rabbits for sale, which means you can buy rabbits there. So we will see. Good. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm running late because I took a nap and I didn't set an alarm, and I meant to get up way earlier than I did, and I failed. My mental alarm did not go off. We were watching Game of Thrones, and I fell asleep. But I'm going to blame my husband for this one because, like, We're watching Game of Thrones. I was awake. He fell asleep, so I turned on Titans to watch by myself, and then I fell asleep. So I'm gonna blame Danny 100% for this one. But yeah, at least I got a nap in. I don't nap very often. There we go. And that goes there. Once I get the what I have set up, I'll show you guys where I'm at on this map. I'm just setting everything up so I can move on to the next section. Because otherwise I'm just going to stare at this and be like, okay, what do I have left? So, yeah. This is one of my favorite pastimes outside of breeding rabbits, is DnD. And normally, because I am a control freak and I am very creative in my brains, I end up being the forever dungeon master. So I'm always making up homebrews, maps, and that kind of thing. But basically, if y'all don't know what D&D is, it is basically make-believe for adults. It is a play pretend, and it is so much fun. I really enjoy it. I would enjoy it even more, though, if I wasn't forever the DM, because I haven't played my human bard in years. And even though it's human bard, I have fun making a mess with said human bard. So once I get this map set up, I'll show y'all what it looks like and how we're doing. It's just, I have a lot of pieces that I need to lay down real quick, and then I'll show you. But I'm gonna have to move that phone again. But yeah. That needs to move potted plant. There you go. Y'all are gonna hold that in place. Y'all are gonna sit on top of the throne room. But let's see here. Part 6. F1. I know I was working on F1 last week. Watch. I'm gonna set this all up and I'm gonna look down on it. I'm gonna be missing pieces. That's just my luck. 7C. That needs to go underneath. How far underneath? That was the question. B, right there? I think right there. That was the one bad thing about maps being right on border lines, is you'll think everything is good and then it's not good. Okay, almost done, and then I show y'all, I'll promise. Because my D&D players don't know I'm doing this on my live, so they can't watch me do it, so they can't cheat. And if I find out they cheat, I'm going to mess with them hardcore. Alright. Here we are. I will show y'all here, once I get these papers all fixed, what the D&D board looks like. Congratulations, by the way, if you're on my live, instead of talking about rabbits for 5 seconds, you get to see my other nerdy side. Dungeons and Dragons. How often do you check on your rabbit and kicks during the day? So normally, unless I'm really worried about a mom, right? I go out for morning feed, I go out during lunch, and then I go out for my evening feed and right before bed. Now, if I'm really nervous about a mom, I go out like every hour. Like if I have a new mom. All right, let me show y'all. All right, so this is what I have so far. Like I said, it's just the top right. So that is the throne room. So up there, you kind of see it's broken apart. That's the throne, and then these are the dining areas, and then up in this area right here is the kitchens. Then we come down, right here is the laundry room, and then once we come down into this area, let me rearrange this here. So what happens is the characters start off here. I'm going to see if I can push them. Hello from New York. Hello, Orlando. How are you doing? So the goal is they start here in the throne room, and I'm going to attempt to get them up through the kitchens. Because in this campaign, since it's homebrew, instead of them starting out with adventure packs, I'm having them start out with nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's gonna fuck with them hardcore, and I love it. So once I get them into that area, I'm going to push them down into here. And there's an area with a bunch of suits of armor. And what that's going to do is it's going, let me flip those around. Those are backwards. What it's going to do is it's going to force them to choose various suits of armor, and we're just going to mess with them. Then up here, I have them meeting with some shriekers. and they have to go through the door, meet with them, and then once they get down here, we'll actually get into the campaign where they have to start fighting things. So, hooray for homebrew. I have some things that I really like to mess with when it comes to my players, but yeah. And for those of you who don't know, this is Sheldon. Sheldon is not a trash cat. He is my inbred barn cat. I got him when I was in Louisiana, and he was a barn cat, and we brought him home, and he is the most complaining of complainers, but he is my baby. He is, what are you now, 5? He is 5 years old. He is my itty bitty little baby. I love this cat. He is just a little inbred guy. He looks like a little gargoyle when you see his face. His face is all kinds of messed up. But I love this cat. He is my baby, and he is a jerk. Well, she's like, girl, if I still lived in Louisiana, I would have had you a breeding trio already. But no, I haven't lived in Louisiana for a while. Louisiana was, like, there were some good things about Louisiana, but also it was hot, it was humid, and it wasn't my favorite place to be just because of those reasons. I like it when it's very moderate, very chill, and not threatening to hail while also having a tornado at the same time. That was not a fun day, but it wasn't horrible. I just didn't like being stationed there. All right, 6 goes up there. All right, so I showed y'all the top half of the campaign map. Right now I am working, I'm trying to decide, part of me wants to build down here, but I think I need to build that way. So I'm gonna get the next parts of my map ready, cut off my excesses, and start working on the 3 that way, and then I'll come this way. Because, I don't know. I know we're playing this in November, like during Thanksgiving. I want to play now, but that is always the impatient side of me. I'm gonna grab another water, because I'm thirsty. Now this bad habit, I will go take a nap and I will be thirsty for the rest of my life. Okay. But yes. I'm really, so within the next few weeks, I'm going to be breeding Daisy and Syraxis. So we'll have some mini Rex hopefully out of them soon. I have to breed them against my boob carriers just to verify that they aren't Vienna carriers. So hopefully within the next few weeks we'll have some really nice kits out of those litters. And then also with Nina being hopefully bred, I have to see if we'll have some really nice looking silver fox babies. And in theory, coming up here soon, we're gonna have chocolates, which I'm super excited about. But also, we could eventually get some lilacs out of Zeus and Nina. And I know lilacs aren't a showable color yet, but maybe someday I will. I can see it now. If I work on lilacs, I'm gonna do that, get a COD, and have yet another color. Alright, blessed pets, I just saw your thing come up and it was very long, so let's see if I got this right. Live chat, bring it back up. I'm about to give up. I've been searching on Google and Craigslist and Facebook. I can't find any purebred mini-lux, much less show quality ones or specific colors. So, unfortunately, blessed with pets, you might be in the same situation I was, where you have very, very, very limited stock. I started, when it came to my mini Rex, on non-showable quality, and very crappy quality at that, and I just kept breeding it better until I found something else. I got lucky though, because my dream color has always been blue-eyed whites, and I found somebody who she had a blue-eyed white doe just out of happenstance, and I ended up snatching it from her because she's like, yeah, I'm really not into this color, da da da, and I'm like, well, if you ever look at selling that blue-eyed white doe, I want her, because I got a couple of bucks off of her. And she's like, oh, she's gonna be weaned here in about 3 weeks, you can buy her off me after that. And I was like, bet. And that's how I got Silly Sally, is just happenstance, because I saw a lady who was selling, it wasn't a show quality, it was a broken amber buck, and I wanted it. And that is how, I don't even have that line anymore. Why did I call that line? Split penis. I was getting split penises out of that line, so I called the entire line, but I really liked that buck. It's unfortunate, really. I really liked that buck. He produced some pretty kits, but I'm not going to keep a line like that, so I called the entire line. But I also got a buck out of her, Coco, and he produced some nice kits. That's who Sadie is out of, but thankfully that line was clean, and I've been doing really well with that line. But other than that, you just kind of have to, if you can find something, and like if you're in a really bad situation where you don't really have anything, you just kind of make do with what you have. And a lot of times you can't be picky with color, you can't be picky with show quality, unless you're going to go to a show or a convention where you can be picky, unfortunately. So I've been there, I've done that. It's frustrating, but it's one of those is what it is situations, and you just kind of move on from that. And trust me, like, it sucks at first, but you will eventually breed it better. Oh no, blessed pets. I keep looking up when you're typing, and then it comes up. Alright. My dream color is Boo. My absolute faves are Boos, Tries, and Vienna Marks. So, it might be that you can find, okay, there is a couple of Facebook groups, like there are mini Rex groups, there are blue-eyed white groups that you can connect with people. Boos are hard to find, especially in good quality as it is, let alone in an area that doesn't have many breeders. Tricolors, you can find a lot of them, it's just about finding the community. A lot of people like tricolors. What you might need to do is find harlequinized casters. That is how I started my harlequin lines and my tricolored lines for my mini Rex. Is I found people with harlequinized casters, and I started breeding the tricolored patterns and slowly getting better with them. So sometimes you just have to find harlequinized, introduce a broken into the line, and that's how you get your tricolors. Because remember, tricolors are just broken harlequins. So if you find a harlequin, breed it to a broken, you can get your tricolors. It might take a generation or two, but that's how you do that. And then also, because harlequins are solids against a broken, you have to worry less about things like megacolon. Because that's a problem that a lot of people have in their broken lines if they're breeding brokens to brokens. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something definitely to think about if you're doing broken lines. Another piece. Okay, get that up in the corner. One more, and then we can start working on lines again. I had a Budo and a broken. No! What's the pets? We're in that same pattern again. Let's see here. Live chat. Whee! I had a Boo and a broken chinchilla lined up, but that was 3 months ago, and we never picked them up. That freaking sucks. That freaking sucks, blessed with pets, especially if you had a nice broken chinchilla set up for mini Rex. But again, I'm partial on chinchillas. We have seen this when it comes to my standard lines. I have to figure out when it comes to like my Rex and everything, like if I'm going to get a new buck or not when it comes to alpha. Or I'm just gonna breed Lizzie and Emma for the next couple of years, and then get a new buck on top of it. Especially when it comes to my standard lines. My standard lines are not the best, just because of what I started with. If y'all weren't here for the $15 or $20 trio, when I first got into standard Rex, because I was doing mini Rex for the longest, and I was like, I want meat rabbits, I want something bigger. So I bought from somebody, and the only reason I bought the 2 does was I wanted the buck, and he's a little stunted thing, and I wanted the buck because it was in chinchilla. So I started out with my first trio for like pennies on the dollar. No one should get a trio that cheap, and I should have known. But he is the most prolific buck. Basically, you throw it in with him, he breeds it, they have babies. But it always gets me laughing how cheap my first standard Rex trio was. So it was Alpha 1 and 2. And, $15 for 3 rabbits. Score! Also not score though. They were stunted, they have horrible type, but you just work on breeding it better within your lines. That is one of my favorite lines though, just because they're chinchillas and I wanted that. And then of course I have my otter lines, which are way better, but I'm still breeding those otter lines to those chinchilla lines because damn it, I want both. But sometimes you just gotta breed crap lines to good lines and then just find the best out of those lines to keep within your breeding program for certain colors. So sometimes things just suck and you gotta work with it. Let's see, did I miss a live? Blessed with pets. I currently only have a tri-colored buck. He is 1.5. When it comes to bucks, right? As long as you keep them in good condition, you keep them in good health, you can just breed them for the longest. They breed for a very long time. My oldest buck was like 6 or 7 when we finally culled him, and he was having babies up until the very end. So you can breed bucks longer than you can breed does. And it's just, they turn into ugly little things because they no longer have the nice form. A lot of times they get like ugly little bulldog faces if they're bucks. But you don't need a pretty buck to necessarily make pretty kids. And they breed for longer. But other than that, does of course are ticking time bombs for how long you want to breed them, just because biological clocks and such. Some does you can breed longer. The oldest doe I've had produce kids was like 4 or 5, and she did well. But we also have a very moderate breeding schedule. Now though, I normally switch my does out by the time they're 3. Just because we don't have a very light breeding schedule anymore. We're a little heavier with moderate, and so instead of having 2 or 3 litters every year just for show, we're using them for heavy supplying on meat. So yeah, now I just don't have time to keep older does. I want to keep younger does who are producing larger litters and keeping their condition better. It's just better overall. But that's also the difference between raising on a farm and actually having space compared to raising in an apartment where you don't have much space. So that's also something to keep in mind. Snippity, snippity, snippity. This little extra ½ inch always just gets me. There we go. Now we have a nice to the inch measurement, and I can start working on that side of the map. I have 3 of those up. Blessed Pets, I'm going to make sure you didn't send in another comment here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. How did you learn so much about color genetics? Did you just read the book, Google it, something else? Okay, so the best color genetics book is ABC Genetics. You can do that really well. I'm on a Facebook group that is Rabbit Genetics, and that's amazing. That's where I learn a lot of stuff beyond that. And then also Google is my best friend. And then also, I hyperfixate because of ADHD. So, one season, I just got really into color genetics for no reason whatsoever, and I went down the wormhole. With that being said, I still have a lot to learn when it comes to color genetics. I am horrible with shaded genetics. The sea lotus is my absolute enemy, even though I raise chinchillas. Now, I raise chinchilla darks over chinchilla lights, and there's more to the sea lotus, with the absolute lowest or at least dominant trait being albino on the sea lotus. I hate the sea lotus. But yeah, it's just ABC Genetics, Rabbit Genetics Facebook group, and then just hyperfixating on Google. Google, in a lot of instances, will give you some false information, but when it comes to very niche things like rabbit genetics, it's pretty on point. The only thing that isn't on point when it comes to rabbits in Google is basic rabbit care. Then you get into HRS and a bunch of that nonsense. But rabbits are one of these things where you can study rabbits and you can learn about rabbits for years, right? I'm talking a lifetime's worth of knowledge, and still every single day learn something new. Rabbits are just one of those topics where there's just so much to learn about. It's also one of the reasons I love them so much is I'm constantly learning new things, even with color genetics. On our color genetics group, they were talking about broken magpies, which we talk about all the time, broken harlequins in the form of tricolors, but how the genetics work with broken magpies and how they look and how they were calling them little Dalmatian bunnies. So when it comes down to it, there is so much you can learn. And these Facebook groups, of course, always verify and check. But I just joined a new Facebook group today that I didn't even know existed for silver foxes. And one of my, the lady I got my 2 silver foxes off of, Nina and Zeus, which I was kind of voyeuristic with her, but she did really well at convention this year. She got like best of breed for silver foxes. Just absolutely wonderful, fantastic. I am blown away by her quality. But she is a very vocal participant in this group, and I spent like 2 or 3 hours today just researching in this group silver foxes and a whole bunch of stuff with them. And I was like, oh my god, how did I not know this Facebook group exists? And I just spent way too much time on that group hyperfixating about silver foxes. Now, silver foxes are probably my favorite breed right now. And I know that's a little bit blasphemy because I am a mini Rex. I have, been a mini Rex breeder for the longest. But I am quickly turning into someone, like, when it comes down to it, if you told me I could only have one breed, I'd probably choose Silver Fox or Standard Rex. And I say Standard Rex just to verify from full-size Rex compared to my mini Rex. Because I know in the USA, when somebody calls it Standard Rex, it's inappropriate compared to the European rabbit clubs where they actually do call it Standard Rex. I'm just verifying the size. I always have to make that clear on my TikTok. I always have someone like, that's not right. And it's like, I know, but because I raise both minis and standards, verification. I digress though. 7C. But yeah, that's just kind of my groove right now. It's kind of what I'm working on. But there is a lot to learn about when it comes to rabbits. I am never bored when it comes to them. 1, 2, because there is so much to learn. And it just takes, like, Google is my best friend, but on top of Google, I just have a lot of times where I just sit down and I just verify with studies. And not all studies are necessarily the end-all be-all. It's just a great place to start. The end-all be-all, if y'all go to shows and you find the 90-year-old crotchety shower, like the one who they always seem to have like lops, right? but not like the mini lops. They have like French lops, and they're always like 80 to 90 years old, and they're always grouchy breeders. And you always buy them a thing of coffee, and they talk your ear out. That is the end all be all of rabbit knowledge. My one show I was at, wonderful lady. She was very upset about the raffle bunny that was there. But once I got her past her angle on the raffle bunny, just a wealth of information. And she was just amazing to talk to. And I got a whole bunch of her secrets out of her. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you ever go to a show and you find the old people in the corner who have been raising rabbits for a million years, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 4. Those are the people you want to, like, I don't want to say kidnap, but kidnap. they are the ones who have all of the rabbit knowledge, and you can bribe them with a cup of coffee. My one show, we had a silver fox breeder. He was also an elderly gentleman. He wasn't showing that day, but he had a silver fox kit he had that he was trying to sell, and he was selling J feeders for like $3 or $4 a piece, and he was talking rabbit genetics all day with me, and he had a lot of great tips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that'll go out into there. So yeah, if you're at a rabbit show, you want information for free, trade secrets, find the grouchy old people who aren't really that grouchy. They just have ways that they like doing things, and they will tell you all of the secrets. They are my favorite people to talk to at shows, and they are just amazing. Although they are very harsh with you. If you ask them to, like, if you're like, hey, what do you think of my lines and what do you think of this? They will be the first ones to tell you to cull out your entire barn. I had one time I was talking to him, like, hey, what do you think of this? And they're like, oh, it's great. I'm like, thanks, I'm working on my boo lines. How often do you go to shows? I'm in my off season right now, so I'm not going to any. So from this time till December, I won't go to any. January is my show season, and I'll go to 1 to 2 shows a month, depending on how many are in the area and how expensive the entry fees are. If entry fees are just $1 or $2 a rabbit, I can go to multiple in a month. If entry fees are like $5 a rabbit, then I'm only going to 1 a month because that's expensive. But in our area, we normally have 1 to 2 shows a month. So what I'll do is I'll hit the north and then I'll hit the south, and I'll just bounce between the two because of how our circuits work. So for instance, if I go to Platte River Valley, they have one in January, March, and September. If I hit all 3, I can hit the entire circuit. If I go down to, not Pueblo, what is it? Junction City, I think it is. They have it in February, June, and October. So I'll hit that. And then there's another show circuit I hit that's kind of in between those as well. It's over in Castle Rock, and that's out of the Silver Fox Club in our area. So if I hit them all and I hit it correctly, like I said, entry fees are only $1 to $2 for those shows, so I can hit like 1 to 2 a month, as long as they're close. If they're like my shows out in Junction City where they're like 5 hours away, it's usually the more expensive. Just a bit. And by just a bit, I mean like a lot more expensive. I love shows, but I don't necessarily want to drive that far with the babies for shows. But I do sometimes, so, but I do love Junction City. The people there are always so sweet, so kind. I love seeing them, and that is also, every time I hit Junction City, that is my breeder who has my Champagnes, Silver Fox, one of my Silver Fox breeders, and my Rex breeders, although they just got rid of all of their Rex, so I think they're just doing Champagnes and Silver Foxes now. So if I'm out that way, I always text them and I'm like, y'all got any breeders for me? Y'all have anything new that I can steal? So there's always that as well. But other than that, I just kind of go, I enjoy. I'm really excited about this next show season coming up because I am going to convention next year talked to the hubby about it. I think we have it planned out to where we are good to go and we are going to go. Very nervous though also because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to convention. We're going to do really well. I'm excited. But also I'm going to convention. Oh my gosh, I'm going up against Kara for Silver Foxes and she is an amazing person. Hello, how are you doing, MB Heritage Farms? But when it comes to Kara, she is basically the queen of Silver Fox. She is the best of the best. Like, nervousness and also fangirling at the same time. I've talked to her on multiple occasions. Like I said, I got I got Zeus and Nina off of her. She is a wealth of information. I love talking to her, but also her stock is so good that I could basically just die. Like, she is absolutely fantastic. 3 and 3, 3 and 3. So if I'm up against her, it's I will crap myself. With that being said, I did on one of our home shows here in Colorado. I beat her barely. She got best of breed. I got best of opposite, but in my opinion, I should not have gotten best of opposite against her. And one of my silver foxes, my homebred silver foxes, beat out some of her bucks, and we were both shocked about that. And because Wiley was the one who beat out her bucks, and we were both like, "What about that?" And that's how we ended up really talking. Was she was like, "Hey, when we're done here, talk to me about your show rabbits. You need to improve your fur quality. I might have something for you." And I'm like, "Yes, please. I need to improve my fur quality, and I'm looking for outcrosses for bloodlines." But the fact that I got best opposite against her is going down in my memoir. If I ever beat her at convention for any reason, like to that level, like best opposite, like I would crap myself, to be honest, because there's a difference between local shows and convention shows. Local shows, you take things to test them out, like, okay, what is a judge going to think about this? Convention, you're like, I'm bringing everything. I am going to beat everyone. And yeah, convention is, that's what I think about convention. But again, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to decide what you're going to do and what you're going to bring. And if my silver foxes ever had babies, we would be good to go. But I'm testing out some new bucks, and they aren't playing nice right now. They should be having babies. So Eduardo has one more strike before I'm just done with him. And then I'm going to move on to Wiley. If Wiley doesn't have babies, I'm going to cry, because his type is just brilliant. How many rabbits do I normally bring to show? It depends. I have the capability, let me rephrase this. I should only have the capability of bringing 6. Have I brought more than 6 to shows? Yes. I have dog kennels where I can stuff 2 or 3 out of a litter into a box. So what I do is I have my travel cage that has 3. So I'll bring 3 seniors, and then I'll have my dog kennels where I can take entire litters to show if I wanted to. So in theory, I should be able to only bring 6 rabbits. I have brought more than 6 rabbits to show. Last year, Danny was really sweet and got me a travel carrier. I am hoping to keep up my shenanigans and get him to get me another travel carrier. And if not, next time I'm at another farmer's market, I will just buy more dog kennels. Because the dog, hear me out, right? The little pet carriers that you can travel with, you can find them for $2 or $3 at like farmers markets or on Facebook Marketplace, compared to those really schwanky, and I'm cheap, so I haven't bought into them very often. They're really schwanky breeder cages that you can like take like 5 or 6 rabbits in one carrier. I only have 1 of those, so I should only be able to bring 6. Normally I bring anywhere from 3 to 10. I'm not like one of those breeders. I have, there is a local breeder to us. They raise lops. They raise French lops. And they normally bring about 100 to show at a time. And they are the sweetest people, don't get me wrong. I think, like, they're really fun to talk to. They're really welcoming. They're really sweet. They bring 100 rabbits at a time, and they have the little 4 square ones. I really like their cages. They make them by themselves. But I don't know how they keep track. And they have the tags. That's how they keep track, and then they have the ear markings. But 100 rabbits to show at a time is insane to me. Just because it's like, for one, I don't have that many slots open in my barn to really have in an off season that many rabbits, right? Because they bring seniors. They don't bring juniors, they bring seniors. No, they might have a few juniors mixed in, but most of their rabbits are seniors. So they'll bring 100 senior rabbits. Looking for chocolate rabbits. What breed? I have chocolates of multiple breeds. I have chocolates in mini Rex. I have chocolates in mini Rex. I have chocolates in Rex, and I'm looking at getting chocolates in my Silver Foxes within the next year or so because Nina is a carrier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to breed Nina, get a couple of bucks out of her, and then rebreed them back to their mother to get those chocolate lines to come out. But what breed are you looking at, and where are you located? I have chocolates out my butt. I love my chocolate rabbits. They are just gorgeous, and I love them. But, you know, that's just one of my guilty pleasures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, make sure I'm counting this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then over into 10, and then we're gonna go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven C and 13. Something is not correct. Let's see here. I am in Arizona, first time on your channel. Well, Quail by Thomas, welcome to the channel. Happy to have you. I actually have a friend who is in Arizona who breeds mini Rex who has chocolates. So if you're looking at chocolate mini Rexes, Freedom Quail Farms raises chocolate mini Rex. I am in Colorado. It's a drive for some people. We joke around all the time, though I have gone on quite the excursions when it comes to rabbits. We have driven like 5 or 6 hours one way for our rabbits. It's a bad habit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. C7. C7 into C13. Let's move that out just one more. I just miscounted. No big deal. Alright, and then we'll go down. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Once you get 6, then it comes out. But yeah, I'm always more than happy to work with a transport company as well. I just when it comes to like chocolate rabbits, just figuring out like what breed you want or what breed you're showing, that kind of thing. Otherwise, it's just a little difficult to say, what we're doing. Okay, I just need to bring this over to here, and then we're going to go up that way on the map. I need to figure out what we're doing. I know I have that gap there. One great thing about homebrew is I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But it does look like we're going even. So what we can do is we can just start going even to up there. Hey Madison, why do you miscount? Because sometimes I don't count. Oh dear. As long as my map's not completely wonky, we can continue playing this game. Sometimes my map is really wonky, and then I just say screw it, and we just start a brand new map. Like I just scrap a piece of the map and just go from there. There we go. Oops. Let's see here, make sure I didn't miss any of the comments. Oh, there we are. But yeah, so it just, again, when it comes to like finding rabbits in your local area, you know, YouTubers are always a great resource because they can at least tell you where to search. Craigslist is where I found a lot of my people. Facebook groups, shows is a huge one if you're looking for show quality. If you're not looking for show quality, you know. We also just got a new foster baby 3 days ago. He's 6 days old now. Foster baby like rabbit blessed with pets. Because bottle babies and rabbits are a pain in the butt. They are a huge pain in the butt. Like, don't remember, I love rabbits, but foster babies are a pain. Let's see here. We need to start going that way with this, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know if I'm gonna get that far, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we just got a 6. But I will say that hall opens up 1, 2 spots, and we can just continue that line to there, and then we can continue that down. With that being said, get to 8. So 8, we skip up, and then there's another. So this 8, that goes that way. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So this continues that way. It continues down as well. So there and there, and then we have 1 up, and then we have to go sideways, and then go sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're just going sideways 6. Oh, we're getting into the fun part of the map where things don't make much sense. Live chat. Oh, a human baby. Bless with pets, you got me confused there for a second. That is awesome. Oh, you got me confused there for a second. Bless with pets. That is awesome though. You got a new little baby. Human babies are less annoying than rabbit babies. They're a lot easier to feed too. As a human who has 2 children, I can say this. So I hope your little human foster baby is doing magnificent. And hopefully y'all are getting sleep, because newborn babies, I will say at least this, they don't sleep much in those first couple of months or so. Unless you have a magic baby who just sleeps all the time, and then I am jealous. Because that's not fair. That is not fair whatsoever. Let's see here. But other than that, probably gonna get off here in a second, just because we are getting to that time of night where I need to get off and go hang out with my husband, because he has Fridays off. So what we do is we normally hang out. During the day, but I'll go and do this, and then he will go chill and play video games. And I feel like I just haven't annoyed him enough today. He is too content in his life, so I need to go annoy him. So I'm going to jump off here. So thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and watching. As always, I am going to awkwardly hit that exit button like an awkward human that I am. So again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!